There is a particular kind of silence in some families. Not anger, not indifference, but a silence so old that nobody remembers when it started. It's the silence of a father who loves his child completely and somehow, across an entire lifetime, never once finds the words to say it out loud. This is the story of Ahmed and his father Yusuf, a man who carried a lifetime of pride locked inside his chest and almost didn't unlock it in time. Yusuf was a strict man who ran a small hardware shop, provided steadily for his family, and rarely offered praise. When 10-year-old Ahmed brought home a report card with top marks, Yusuf simply said, "Good. Make sure next term looks the same." Years later, when Ahmed won a regional science competition, he scanned the crowd for his father's face, certain this would finally be the moment. Yusuf had watched the whole ceremony. Afterward, all he said was, "Your handwriting on the certificate is sloppy." Every milestone landed the same way, acknowledged, then quietly redirected toward the next thing that needed improving. "You know he's proud of you," Ahmed's mother would say gently. "He's just not a man of many words." "Then what good is being proud?" Ahmed once snapped, "if he never says it." By 28, Ahmed had built a successful life 3 hours away. A career, his own apartment, a life built almost entirely on the quiet need to prove something to a man who never seemed satisfied. His calls home stayed brief. "How's work?" "Fine." "All right then." He told himself he'd made peace with it. Then the call came. His father had collapsed at the shop, a serious heart episode. Ahmed was on the first train home, 3 hours of staring blankly out the window. At the hospital, Yusuf looked smaller than Ahmed had ever seen him. 2 days later, alone in his old bedroom collecting clothes for his mother, Ahmed noticed his father's locked wooden trunk in the corner. On impulse, he pried it open. Inside, he found every one of his old report cards, carefully kept, with small notes in the margins he'd never seen. 91 in mathematics. Excellent. Don't tell him. He'll stop trying as hard. A newspaper clipping about his science competition win. His university acceptance letter, preserved in a plastic sleeve. And at the bottom, a worn notebook filled with his father's private thoughts. One entry, dated the same day as that competition, read, "He looked for me in the crowd today. I saw him looking. I don't know how to say what I actually feel without my own father's silence coming out of my mouth instead. So I said something about his handwriting. I am ashamed of myself tonight." Ahmed sat on the floor, understanding an entire lifetime he had misread completely. His father hadn't been indifferent. He had simply inherited a silence passed down from his own father and never learned how to break it. Even while desperately wanting to, entry after entry, year after year. That evening, at the hospital, Yusuf finally spoke. "I thought this might be it," he said quietly, staring at the ceiling. "And all I could think was that I never once told you." "I found your trunk," Ahmed said softly. "I read the notebook." Yusuf closed his eyes. "I should have said it 100 times, out loud, when it would have actually reached you." "You could say it now," Ahmed said. His father turned, looked directly at him, and said it plainly, without a single correction attached. "I am proud of you. I have been since the day you were born. I'm sorry it took almost dying for me to say it." Yusuf recovered fully, and something between them shifted permanently. The calls grew longer, and every so often now, almost like a man practicing a language learned too late, Yusuf would simply say it. "I'm proud of you." No redirection. Just the words, finally allowed to stand alone. So many of us assume love will announce itself clearly, that if someone truly cares, we'll simply feel it without needing the words. And so many of us spend years starving for confirmation that was, in fact, there the entire time, just never translated into language. If you love someone deeply but struggle to say so, understand what that silence actually cost them. It doesn't feel like love held carefully. It feels like love that was never there at all. Don't wait for a hospital bed to say what you've felt for years. Say it today, while it can still change how someone walks through the rest of their life.